In 2019, on a rainy April night in Sterling Heights, Michigan, 18-year-old Logan Davis had just gotten off work at a sandwich shop and was waiting under a nearby awning for his dad to come and pick him up and drive him home. A few minutes later, Davis ended up handcuffed in the back of a Sterling Heights police cruiser, having been forcibly taken to the ground and arrested for loitering. Davis subsequently sued the city of Sterling Heights and Officer Jeremy Walleman for unlawful arrest in federal court. Now, recently, the federal court issued a memorandum opinion and order denying Officer Walleman qualified immunity. So we have both a video of what happened and also the subsequent opinion from the federal court examining that video footage, as well as sworn deposition testimony from the case. So there's no armchair quarterbacking here. This is straight from a federal judge. So first watch the footage, and then I'll explain the legal reasonings behind the ruling.
Absolutely.
Do you have the paper that says that?
There's a city ordinance that says you will. Actually, I'm going to dispatch. I'll be out with the subject in front of Dicky's barbecue, band back to 16. So, hey, I'm telling you right now, when I request that you identify yourself, I have a lawful reason to stop you. You have to identify yourself. Because you're standing in front of a closed business and you're loitering.
How am I loitering? I just got off the window.
How am I supposed to verify that, brother? Okay, well now let me see your, ID.
You don't need my ID.
Okay, I'm telling you I want your ID.
You don't need it, bro.
Well, turn around, put your hands behind your back, because you're not identifying yourself. Turn around.
That's illegal.
No, it's not. Turn around.
That's illegal.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back. Turn around, put your hands behind your back. Now you're resisting arrest.
And that is illegal, my guy.
Put your hand behind your back.
What is the reason?
What
is your reason?
Put your hand behind. Because I want. Put your hands behind your back.
What is your name? What is your name?
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hand behind your back. Put your hands. It's Officer Walleman. Put your hand behind your back. Put your hands. I'm asking for your ID. That's all you had to do.
You don't need it.
Yes, I do.
Hands off of my phone, sir.
Put your hands behind your back.
Sir.
Put your hands behind your back.
Officer.
Put your hands behind your back.
Do not need my ID.
I asked you for your ID.
You have no lawful reason.
Yes, I do.
No lawful reason to arrest.
Put your hands behind your back.
You have no lawful reason to arrest me.
Yes, I do.
No, you do not. No, you do not.
Yes, I do.
You do not.
All you had to do was identify yourself. That's it.
I just got off the
And I asked you for your last name.
You do not need it. There is no reason. There is no reason for you to be doing this.
Put your hands
No
behind your
reason for you to be doing this. I'm not going to do this. You do not have a lawful reason to arrest me. I'm not leaving this.
All you had to do.
Get your hand out.
Get your hand out. I told you to give me your ID. That's all you had to do.
You do not need my ID. Get your hand out. You have no reason. Get your hand back. You have no reason. I just got off the work.
That's all I asked.
Listen, let's go. You do not have a reason.
That's all you asked. You do not have your ID.
You do not need my reason to do this. I am recording you. Get
That's
out.
fine. That's fine. All you had to do was give me your ID.
Stand up.
That's it.
You do not need my ID.
That's all you had to do.
My property is right there.
That's fine.
You do not need my ID. There is no reason
Over
for you
here.
to handcuff me and arrest me. This is unlawful.
Okay. Here's what I tried to explain to you. All you had to do was show me your ID.
You had no reason to stop me. I was not doing anything wrong.
You were standing in front of a closed business,
That I just
and
got
I
off
stopped
that
to
I
investigate you, and I asked you for your
You
ID.
do not need my ID.
Didn't have to go this way, bro.
You didn't have.
It didn't have to go this way. All you had to do was give me your ID. That's it.
You had.
That's all you had to do.
You did not need my ID. There's no reason for you to get my ID.
Didn't have to go this way. All you had to do was give me your ID.
You did not need my ID. Where's my phone? Where's my
Did you get that fucking
Where's my phone?
No, I did. I got this one here.
Anything else on your boat?
About 10 minutes, my dad would have been here. I would have been there.
Yep. And all you had to do was give me your ID, and I would have been gone too.
Did we
And you would've
double
gone.
lock him?
I didn't do
My
it.
ID.
Let's double lock. Give me a license back here, Ren.
Why am I being arrested? Where's my property?
For disorderly conduct.
What disorderly conduct did
Yep.
I do?
Because I asked you for your ID, and you didn't provide
You
it.
did not need my ID.
Have a seat.
You did not need my ID.
It didn't have to go this way, bro.
You did not need my ID. I just told you I got off.
What's your knees there?
I just told you. Where's my phone?
So he's here at Dickie's, right? All these businesses are closed. I go up to him. I'm like, hey man, what's going on? Oh, I just got off firework at Firehouse. Okay, you got ID? I just want to write your name down. You don't need my ID. Start fucking getting into my shit. I'm like, bro, you give me your ID and I'm on my way. Won't give me his ID. I'm like, all right, we'll turn around. You're under arrest. Man, it was fucking on.
Okay. There's at least loitering at the bus,
Yeah.
to start out with.
So let the puppy get stuck in his ass.
Well, dude, fucking. If I had a door popper, you probably would have.
Something like that. Out here.
Yeah. He's halfway through the front thing.
As I've explained many times before, you have stronger Fourth Amendment protections as a pedestrian than you do as an occupant of a vehicle. A warrantless arrest like we have here is reasonable under the Fourth Amendment only if supported by probable cause to believe that a criminal offense has been or is being committed. A police officer has probable cause only when he discovers reasonably reliable information that an individual has committed or is committing a crime. Where an officer lacks probable cause but possesses a reasonable and articulable suspicion that a person has been involved in criminal activity, he or she may conduct an investigative Terry stop and briefly detain that person to investigate the circumstances. Now, during a Terry stop, an officer may request that a suspect identify him or herself, and the suspect does not have a Fourth Amendment right to refuse that request. Additionally, a state may criminalize refusal to provide identification during a Terry stop. Section 35-17 of the Sterling Heights City Code of Ordinances prohibits loitering and provides that prior to making an arrest for loitering, the police officer must provide the individual with an opportunity to dispel any concern or alarm, which can be accomplished by the individual identifying themselves and providing a reason for their presence. Now, Section 35-19 of the City Code provides that it's a violation to fail to produce identification upon the request of an officer who is investigating possible unlawful conduct. If Officer Walleman had reasonable suspicion to investigate Davis for loitering under Section 35-17, he could lawfully order Davis to produce identification then under 35-19, arrest him if he refused. To conduct an investigatory stop, reasonable suspicion requires that an officer have something more than a hunch. They must possess particularized and objective basis for suspecting the individual of criminal activity. This determination of probable cause or reasonable suspicion must be based on the totality of the circumstances, considering both the inculpatory and exculpatory evidence. That is, an officer cannot simply turn a blind eye towards evidence favorable to the accused, nor ignore information which becomes available in the course of routine investigations, which is relevant here. Now, in denying qualified immunity to Officer Walleman, the federal court held that even if reasonable suspicion to investigate Davis for loitering existed early in the encounter, and it's not clear that it did, any reasonable suspicion, even if it existed, was dispelled when Davis explained to the police officer why he was standing where he was and showed Officer Walleman his Firehouse Sub shirt and badge. After that point, a jury could conclude that no reasonable officer would believe they had justified suspicion of unlawful loitering. And without such a basis, Officer Walleman no longer had the legal authority to demand Davis's identification and arrest him if he refused. The court pointed out that Davis was standing near Firehouse Subs wearing a Firehouse Sub shirt, which he showed to the officer, and that more specifically he was standing in front of the Dickey's barbecue doors because it had an awning and it was raining. He's observed on the video not acting in a suspicious manner. He's not peering in windows or breaking into any businesses. He's just waiting for his dad to pick him up from work. It always comes down to this, though. The police officers can't seem to do anything or talk to anybody without forcibly demanding an ID from people. And if people refuse, it becomes time to teach them a lesson about the authority of government. However, two can play at that game. Now a jury gets to decide whether government did have that authority under these circumstances. Perhaps it would be easier to just be a polite public servant and use common sense. As always, thanks for watching. You'll find more information in the link below to my blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. If you have video you want me to see, please send it my way. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you don't miss future updates or future videos. Please like, share, comment about this video. It helps greatly. If you want to support the channel, please consider clicking the join button and becoming a channel member or sponsor. Remember, freedom is scary. Deal with it. See you next time.